and what she had to say about Jade Cargill after that brutal attack on Naomi has left everyone stunned. We all saw what happened. The Elimination Chamber was already intense, but no one expected Jade Cargill to storm in and unleash absolute chaos. The entire WWE Universe watched in disbelief as she took out Naomi in one of the most vicious assaults we've ever seen. But the one person who took it the hardest? Bianca Balair. And now, she's making sure Jade knows exactly what's coming her way. Bianca is known for her strength, her confidence, and her unshakable spirit. But after watching her best friend Naomi get blindsided and completely demolished by Jade, something inside her snapped. You could see it in her eyes. The fury, the rage, it was unlike anything we've ever seen from Bianca before. And now, she's made it crystal clear that she's coming for Jade Cargill in a way no one expects. But let's rewind for a second. Why did Jade attack Naomi in the first place? What was the reason behind this unprovoked ambush? And why is Bianca so deeply involved in this rivalry? From the moment Jade Cargill stepped into WWE, she has been nothing but dominant. She's made it clear that she doesn't care about friendships, alliances, or respect. She only cares about proving that she is the most powerful, unstoppable force in the company. And she's done exactly that. But what she did to Naomi crossed a line that even the most ruthless competitors wouldn't dare to cross.
If you ain't talking money, then I don't wanna talk.
Still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like Jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like Jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Then I'm still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like Jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like Jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like Jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like Jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Then I'm still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like Jack boys, catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like Jack boys, catch them slipping and slam.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. We're doing something a little bit different today. We're doing something a little different today. Hell, if it works, but don't. What the fuck? But I have to say, wrestling. Wrestling is grown. It's about to grow on me. It's really about to grow on me. All right, bro. I'll be here. Wrestling is really about to grow on me, and it's like I took a back seat. I took a back seat at IOTA to this whole WWE thing for about 5, 6 years. And then, of course, it started getting good when new wrestlers starting to rise, like Roman Reigns, and the whole bloodline came into feuds with with a whole bunch of other people, like the Street Profits and whatever. What else? Oh, and give a shout out to the Street Profits. I want to give a shout out to the Street Profits. Dude, Montez Ford is a beast. Montez Ford is a freaking beast. But let me not get too far on it. What happened last Saturday was something that I have never witnessed ever since WCW. When this was better when Sting talked. You remember when Sting went black and white for all those years and he didn't say not a damn word? And then when he got the belt delinquished from him, he finally spoke. This with Cody Rhodes was much better. Sorry, Sting. I love you. Sorry, but it is what it is. When Cody Rhodes implemented the words "go yourself," it was beautiful. I was like, did he actually say that on national television? And nothing was blurred. The whole word was out. Go fuck yourself was not blurred. And take it to mind. Everybody in the audience, the whole crowd erupted when he said that. And I said, this is going to be some shit. This is going to be some fucking shit. But I'm going to play a little bit of commentary because I don't know how this shit, I don't even know how this shit works. Needless to say, Eric Bischoff said it in the way I would say it. A couple years ago, if he was in charge, none of that shit would fly. Every wrestler would have been dinged if he were to say, like, because it's a different crowd. Kids are supposed to be in bed. But 2024, you heard F-bombs. I've heard F-bombs. Ever since they shifted from the U.S. networks to Netflix, the whole attitude era changed. Now you start throwing F-bombs and B-words and, you know, and Cody Rhodes saying fuck yourself and CM Punk going the fuck off. And it's nothing is blurred. I'm like, okay, this is starting to get interesting. But that's not that's the tip of the iceberg there. Years ago, you only had one or two, and I'm gonna start this off. Years ago, you only had one or two. Let me change this view real quick. You only had one or two black women in the WWE, right? You only had a few. You had Jackie, and I believe you had Jade. These motherfuckers here. Bianca Balair, Naomi, Mrs. Glow, and that sweet nectar. And that sweet little bit of nectar. Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, I sop up with biscuit. This is We-On-Loc Nation. Who the hell is there? Hello? I said hello. Soapbox, you there? You on mute?
My bad, my bad. I was sharing this. I was sharing this on my on my stream. My bad, my
Oh,
bad. Man, you said Jay Cargill, you supper with a biscuit. Okay, so
will.
you must have not seen Jada Parker
I seen
from
Jada
NXT.
Parker. I
Okay,
seen Jada
okay,
Parker from MST.
okay,
I'm
okay,
not. I don't discriminate.
okay.
I
Jada the
don't
one though. The Jada
discriminate.
Parker the one. That's the one right there. Bianca ain't bad. But yeah, Jada Parker the one.
Listen, I just named three. I just named three for you. If that's not good enough, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to freaking tell you. But anyway, did you expect? I didn't. Did you expect anything to come out of this? Like
uh,
what I said earlier.
I
Cody saying something that no kid should ever should listen to. It should be
mhm,
banned.
mhm.
He told The
Um,
Rock, "Go f yourself," and none of it was blurred.
well, remember, this is a pay-per-view. And remember they're trying to they're trying to do like semi attitude era, ruthless aggression era type of feel nowadays, while still appealing to the kids somewhat. Um, so yeah,
I
but
get it.
let me let me say this right. I like the angle. Mm, hold on, I'm eating my granola bar. I like the angle, but people keep trying to compare this to the Hulk Hogan heel turn. There will never be nothing like the Hulk Hogan heel turn.
No,
Okay, that heel turn is above the rest. It will always be above the rest, and I just think that that's what it's always going to be. Now, this was a good heel turn. It was definitely needed, and you know, for me and for a lot of others, I know we were kind of expecting a Cody Hill turn. Triple H kind of fooled us. Good job, Triple H. But the Cody Hill turn is coming. Okay, it's just not coming this year. But next year, by next year, he's definitely turning heel. You know what I mean? And the reason why is because of
it's
that guy
starting to
right
look.
there.
Yeah, it's
That
starting
guy
to
right there you just
seep
showed,
into his
Roman.
voice. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Is a reason why he's staying face. And they kind of got to have like new generation versus old generation type of thing. So I think what's going to happen at Mania, if you ask me, I think it's going to be Rock. I think it's going to be Rock and Cena versus Cody and Roman in a tag team match, kind of how they did last year. And then they'll kind of have like a stipulation or whatever, which I'm not mad at, right? I'm not mad at. I'm not mad if they tease that or if they do that, which I believe that's what they're going to do. They have to give Roman something to do, right?
mm-hmm.
And this is what I think, right? And I'll land here. I think The Rock, Cena, and Seth Rollins are all working together. That's what I think. And they may reform an NWO type of faction or authority type of faction, but that's what I think. So I think Rollins is definitely a part of this whole thing as well.
Yeah, but how do we know that he's a part? I mean, true that he has two. Wait, of course, I almost forgot. He does have that feud with Roman Reigns, but he also has a feud
Mm-hmm.
with CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
he had to consider like which one is more dynamic, which one who would get people in seats, the feud with CM Punk or the feud with Roman Reigns. Remember, he already curb stomped Roman Reigns twice, and he's
Yeah.
going to be out for quite. He's going to be out until WrestleMania, possibly.
I heard Reigns is supposed to come back Friday. This is what I'm hearing.
He's supposed to come back Friday.
This is what I'm hearing. Because I think on my end, I think it's gonna. I think this is what I think. And it's just my opinion. I think it's gonna be uh, Reigns, Punk, and Roman on one side, and Rock, Cena, and Rollins on the other side. And I think that they're just those. That's how it's kind of gonna be set up. You know what I mean? And Yeah,
Good.
we're gonna see how that goes, and that's definitely gonna be a triple threat match.
Wait, yo, T-Bone just caught something for me. Remember when he gave the throat chop or whatever, and he
Hmm.
put up two fingers? So
Hmm.
the first one was who? The first one was Roman. The second one was Cody. Who's the third?
Oh, he's definitely going after Punk. That's the next guy that he's gonna that
I heard Punk.
they're
I
getting
heard
beat
Punk
up.
was out of it.
No, they're gonna target. You did you see the promo that Punk cut on Cena and Rock?
Yeah, yeah, but they just announced. I was just listening to Eric Bischoff
Hmm.
and speak, and they said they took him off for some strange reason. So I'm thinking possibly, maybe you might be right. It might be Seth Rollins.
Hmm.
Might be.
And
I mean,
Rollins needs to turn heel because he's starting to cool as a face. He's a better heel than face anyway. Um, you know what I mean? Well, he's good as a face too, but he's better
really?
heel than face. Yeah, I like him better as a heel anyway. And Cody's actually an excellent heel. It's just not time yet. It's gonna come. I know a lot of people wanted the heel turn for Cody. Um, but Cody got the kids, man, and the kids are gonna sway everything. And since Cena no longer has the kids anymore, Cody is a new Cena. So it's only right for Cena to turn heel, right? Because all the kids that love Cena are adults now, right? You know what I mean? So, mm. With that being said,
Mm,
yeah, it's a proper heel turn. As far as the women, I love this Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley storyline. I definitely think it needs to be a triple threat match at WrestleMania. I hope they don't mess that up. That's going to be a great match, by the way. Way better than a Tiffy Tom and Charlotte match. I think it's going to be better than that match, but
I
we'll see.
agree. No, I totally agree. I mean, no disrespect to Sky. Congratulations on winning the belt, but this was too. The booking is one of the reasons why I stopped watching
Hmm.
because I mean, put it this way, you nothing. I mean, no disrespect to Hunter, but Vince did a way better booking, and I do not like Vince at all.
Mm. Me neither.
Especially what happened with the screw job, the
Hmm.
Montreal screw job. I mean, that was nonsense. That was nonsensical. I mean, just give Bret Hart what he wanted so he can just bounce out with some, with some dignity, with some, with glory. But
Hmm.
instead, you made a deal with Shawn Michaels, and Shawn was in it. Shawn knew he was in it. He just didn't want to
Yeah,
get smacked.
pretty
So
much. Pretty much.
the booking is questionable, but luckily for me, when I love the I love the Samoans. I love the Samoans. They clearly that's one of the reasons why I watch. It doesn't matter if it's Roman. It doesn't matter if it's Sol Sokoa. It doesn't matter if it's Jay or if it's Jimmy. It doesn't matter if it's Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is the dog. Is the dog in this one. I just wish they'd give him a better promo. But either way, he give him in future time he will grow. In
Well,
future time
he
he
should
will
be the
grow.
one that's fighting. He should be the one that's challenging Braun Breaker. If you ask me, it should be him. But
It should be. But think about
that's.
everybody else's think about everybody else's come in though. I mean,
Mhm.
you still who's the small little guy that came from AXT
Oh, you
that
talking about
lost
Carmelo
the
Hayes?
Carmella Hayes. He hasn't
Yeah.
even gotten the belt yet.
Mm.
He hasn't gotten the belt yet, and you still have LA Knight is out there who just lost the NXT lost the TV title to somebody who just came back. And like it's just like I said, it's just story writing is quite bland, but needless to say, like I said, this Saturday, this is going to be quite interesting, and I can't wait until tomorrow. I can't wait until tomorrow.
Friday is going to be something to see. I mean, and they, AEW they have done a better job themselves as well. Salute to King Libra, good to see you. You know what I mean? They've done a better job themselves as far as them having really good storylines. I think with Hunter, he signed a lot of people, whether it's through independence or whatever else. But it just seems like, unless it's a main event card, it seems like he just doesn't give his all. You know what I mean?
No.
And I think that's a problem. And with the women, he barely gives them anything. He don't even try. Like the women's division is just, it is not what it was before when it was actually really, really, really good. Like and the women are frustrated with that. They just kind of feel like they're ignored. So.
Well, not only
the tag
ignored.
division is non-existent. The tag division don't even exist anymore. It's like they might as well just give it a tag team belts because they don't even have any consistency and nobody even cares about the tag team division anymore.
Oh no! Especially when you dumping on the Street Profits for what 5 or 6 years now. I mean, I thought they were going to split and go to Montez Ford. Yeah, I thought they were going to split. I thought they were going to actually split, and he's going to try singles, or he was going to go to EAW, either one. But I guess he stuck with it, and I don't know. I guess he would have to have that conversation, him and Bianca, because they're both married to each other.
Yeah,
I think you have to have that conversation, and I guess you have to handle your business either way because you're not getting the respect. I don't think none of the brothers are getting respect, to be perfectly honest with you. But people will often say it's not a race thing; it's a business thing. Well,
it's a big time race thing. You know that We-On-Loc, and that got exposed in the McMahon documentary on Netflix, right?
Yes.
And just furthermore, it's going to get exposed. I don't know if you watch Dark Side of the Ring. But if you do watch Dark Side of the Ring on Vice, Tony Atlas is about to have a special, and he's about to Tony Atlas let a lot of the stuff out of the bag on a McMahon special on Netflix, but he's about to go fully in. Looks like on the salute to Lady CMBN. You know what I mean? That I don't know anybody. okay. You know what I mean? She probably from the Macho Man era. You know what I mean?
She would love the girls. She would definitely love.
Yeah, she would definitely love the girls. But yeah, I think that Tony Atlas is definitely gonna bring the noise, bringing the funk. You know what I'm saying, on his special on Dark Side of the Ring. And yeah, race always has a big part of wrestling. We know that. You know what I mean? It's always been a part of wrestling, and it always will be.
What did you think about the return of Jay Cargill?
I liked it. I think Bianca's gonna eventually turn heel, which she should.
I hope not.
I mean, it's only, but they really want to push Rhea, and they really want Rhea to be a face. They don't want her to be a heel anymore, and I get it. And they kind of want Io to be the international star. And so I get the direction they're going in. Plus, they do need a heel on Raw. They need a heel that's really powerful on Raw. And Bianca would be a powerful heel. She would be. Because, you got to make it for Nia Jax, because Nia Jax is terrible. We know this already, so,
I wouldn't say that. It's just that you have to give her a storyline. You would have to give her somebody to compete. You would have to give her somebody to have a feud with. And to me, Jade Cargill is the perfect person to have a feud with. But since you don't want power for power, you just want people who are jobbers. And I would have to say that some of these female wrestlers, no disrespect, if you're not Bianca, if you're not Naomi, somewhat, if you're not Jade Cargill, if you're not Becky Lynch, which is going to be returning soon,
Oh, great.
you're stuck. Hey, she was a champion. Come on now.
I'm tired of Becky Lynch, just like I'm tired of Charlotte Flair. You know,
Oh,
hopefully it's the Charlotte's last run. Hopefully it's the Charlotte's last run. You know what I mean? Because I am so tired of seeing Charlotte. Hopefully she retires after this year. You know what I mean? Because, salute to you, Conrad. See you in the building, bro. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully she does retire, man, because I'm tired of her, man. I'm so tired of seeing Charlotte Flair. If Charlotte Flair never wrestles another match again, I'll be a happy man. You know what I mean? She is so done, and so is Becky Lynch. And I think at this point they should just be putting people over. They've had their run, and I think they both are really talented, but it's time for some new blood, man. We need some new faces, some new people, especially in the women's division.
You think
Please.
that Becky? Do you think that not Becky Lynch? Do you think that the one person from I just forget that just got eliminated in an elimination chamber? Trish
Stratus?
No, not. Ugh.
Are you talking about
Don't ever mention her name ever again. Jesus.
They gotta cart her out there like they cart out all the old faces sometimes, Whether they cart out a Hulk Hogan or who, sometimes they gotta bring back old people. We know this,
Yeah, last time they brought back Hulk Hogan, what happened?
Yeah.
This
is what happens though. They cart out these old people, from time to time, or they put them in some pretty cool angles from time to time. Yeah, they definitely gonna have Jade go on a run. Definitely, Jade is definitely going on a run. You know what I mean? They definitely want her to be, top notch as far as the women's division. And she's marketable. I get it. She has a unique look.
Name some undercards that are better than Becky Lynch.
Like women that are better than her right now.
Women that are better than Becky Lynch.
Right now, I would say Lyra.
I'm talking about underjobbers, not high top tier. I'm talking about underjobbers. And I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. So I'll give you a hint. She won the title from Rhea Ripley. She won the title from Rhea Ripley.
Oh, you talking about the white chick?
Yes.
You talking about the white chick? Yeah.
You think she's better? You think she's better?
No, I don't think she's better than Becky Lynch. Like listen, Becky and Charlotte are legends. Okay, they're legends, and they're great. They're great at what they do. But also salute to Braxton, what's going on. But I also think it's just like, dude, like it's just timing. Yeah, Asuka's definitely up there too. But yeah, Asuka, Becky Lynch, Charlotte. I mean, we've seen them over and over again. It's time for the Rhea Ripleys. It's time for the Biancas. It's time for the Jades, Naomi's. The Io Skies. It's time for some new, fresh faces. Jada Parker when she comes up, Soul Rocca when she comes up. You know what I mean? Lyra. She's a great.
Bring Lashley up. Well. Bring that sweet chocolate Lashley over. That would definitely bring butts to seats.
Yeah, I mean, and they have to switch it up, man. They got to switch it up a little bit, just a little bit. Even when it comes to Bayley, Bayley and Nia Jax, they have their runs. You know what I mean? Like they gotta switch it up, man. And I think it's the time to switch it up. They have enough new women and enough women where they can give us something new. Instead of, how many SummerSlam? How many WrestleManias are we gonna do? Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. Like, come on. Like, it's overdone.
It's not like we seen Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair before. It's not like we seen Rhea Ripley and
which we have
and Bianca Belair. Of course, you bring these new girls in. you're gonna have to put. You're gonna at some point. Jade Cargill is going to win a belt.
Oh, definitely. And as well, she should. I think her in-ring skills have to improve a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but she definitely should win a belt and has to win a belt. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? If she don't, it'll be a waste of time. It'll be a waste of time for her and a waste of time for anybody else that she's in line with that can actually help her to get to that point.
Hey,
You know what I
take it,
mean?
take it away from Tiffy. Take it away from Tiffy. I don't give a damn. Take it away from Tiffy. Tiffy
Wow.
time. It's Tiffy time. It's Tiffy time. It's time for you to shut up. It's Tiffy
Well,
time.
she has the fans behind her, man, and I don't think she's a really phenomenal wrestler. I wouldn't say like she's like like I'm not putting her up there with like Rhea or Charlotte or something like that. I'm not putting her up there even with Becky Lynch. Not putting up there at all. But she's a fan favorite. I mean, she's not even better than Bailey, But she's she's somebody that people want to see, you know, and that's just what it is, you know.
That would be something. But whose bloodline are we talking about?
Oh
Are
yeah,
we talking about the original bloodline, or are we talking about the new bloodline with Solo Sikoa? Which Solo Sikoa is going to lose his place when Jacob Fontu is actually growing. If he doesn't do, if
well,
I
they
love
might
Solo
they
Sikoa,
might
I
they
love
might
him.
have a match at WrestleMania. It looked like him
Him
and
and
Solo
Soul
are gonna have a match. That's what it looks like at WrestleMania.
for Soul Control the bloodline.
I don't think it'll be a bloodline thing. I just think they'll just have a match. But I think because remember, his version of bloodline is done. What's the name? Tonga Loa is hurt. Tama Tonga sucks as a wrestler, and um, and
I'm not gonna lie.
no, Tonga Loa is still wrestling. I'm sorry, Tama Tonga is the one that's hurt, and he's not that good of a wrestler. And they that ran its course. They had their incarnation of the bloodline and ran its course. Roman finally got the follow back. Conrad was still in, and now we're here. I'm gonna I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna let my man Conrad do his thing.
What's going on, brothers?
What's
What's
going
good,
on
Conrad?
there?
I heard you guys talking my language. Hey, greetings to you, brother. I haven't met you before. At least I don't think I have. But greetings to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And as Soapbox, I didn't know you was a WWE fan, man.
Huge wrestling fan. Huge.
Okay.
Wrestling, basketball, and baseball. Those are my three.
Okay. Personally, I think that before I get to my bloodline comment, with what you guys were saying about the undercards and like the girls that need to kind of go because they've done what they need to do. I think it's like there's going to be like mini feuds with like the Charlottes, the Becky Lynch, that will phase them out. Like Rhea Ripley is going to be kind of that new monolith for the women, and some maybe like one or two other females out of that ranks, and then Jade Cargill. I believe WWE should put her on a run to capture. She's got the tag team title. She might as well go capture a mid-card title. That's never been done by most of the top tier girls. So then she would have one on everybody, including Bianca and Naomi. And then she, goes and wrecks shop with the big girls as she should. Like this turn of her getting sidelined and sidetracked and taken out, no matter what the issue is, and however that storyline plays out, I hope it transitions into Bailey being the mastermind, so it puts her on a direct path to take away a mid-card title, slap up all these old women, and get into the ranks where she should be, which is in the mid-card title. I think the problem with Jade, why she was slowed down, is because she came from a Goldberg type run in AEW, and WWE doesn't do that system of unbeatable, totally unbeatable talent. Like even Undertaker had to pay it back forward when he was getting ready to bow out. So WWE doesn't do 180-0 streaks and 50-0 streaks. So it's definitely necessary for the storylines to play out. Jade needs, not Jade, as I was saying about the bloodline, Nia needs to go with either, she would benefit from going with Fatu, Jacob Fatu. She would benefit from that bloodline.
Solo!
Because that's gonna be the only way you can properly, because with their new video game that came out and them bringing back intergender matches, nobody wants to see Rhea beat up on Dominic Mysterio all the time. But everybody would love to see Jacob call Nia to give Solo that drop. You know what I mean? And that's one of the only guys that could successfully take that. So, you know, there's a lot of things that you can play on from a marketing standpoint to push their video game forward. So that's a money grab. But at the same time, it makes sense for Nia to do something where she can be a little bit more ruthless, because a lot of girls don't like, there's not another heavyweight female. Raquel Rodriguez, she's not a heavyweight. Rhea's not a heavyweight. Jade's not a heavyweight. Yeah, they got power and they got size, but they're not a heavyweight like she, or a super heavyweight like she is. So this allows her to kind of get away from that and kind of be a little bit more brutal, and then be the ultimate mountain for Jade to come back and have to deal with. And, you know, who knows? Maybe we see, a female version of the Bloodline versus the World in that regards. And, you know, Ava, because remember, Ava's over on NXT, right? So who knows what they're going to do. There was two more Samoan tag team. There was a tag team, female tag team that have Samoan bloodline that got released, that walked out of AEW about 7 months ago. And they still haven't been signed, and they're not doing anything on the indies. So there's a lot of things that are able to be done behind the scenes, especially with WWE's recent roster let goes. There's a lot, and Rock and Triple H are telling stories that are going to be like 3-4 years down the line.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Let me get to this super chat real quick, and thank you to Anti Gamer, my little sister. This one's for you.
That's ISO.
Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse. Bull it up, I'm with the gang, we taking shots off the rebound. Fucking my post to say now, I've been humble too long, yeah. Tell them all to stay calm, yeah. Tell them all to move on, yeah. Fucking my post to say now, they be lost in the sauce, yeah. Took a loss, that's your loss, yeah. Had to get my point across, yeah. Heard them lanes was talking now, and we don't pay that no mind. Didn't need to watch and know that I be.
Thank you for the $5 super chat. Now, what do you think that some of these, in order for this thing to happen, first of all, there needs to be better storylines, and most of these girls can't even cut a good promo. So, what do you think division-wise should happen? Should they just bring some of these girls from ECW, from that EXT to WWE, and just people that don't make the cut say like Liv Morgan, she's annoying. And if people don't think that Liv Morgan is annoying, then I feel sorry for you. Because she doesn't wrestle well. She botches a whole bunch of wrestling moves. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, she's not a terrible wrestler. You know, I mean, you know, she's not terrible. You know, and she has that kind of look that they like to go for. You know, you know what I mean? And her promos are not bad. Her promos aren't bad. She actually is a pretty good promo.
She repeats the same thing over and over again.
I get you. But to me, she's not a bad promo. You know what I mean? She's decent. No, she's not the most talented wrestler, but she's all right. She's all right as a wrestler. Like she's not She's not dumpster fire. I'll say that. She's decent as a wrestler. She's decent. Is she a superstar? No, not at all.
She, no,
I would.
when she, well, when that's all I'm gonna say is when Jay, I love me some Jade. I'm so sorry, but when she came down the aisle, mad as hell, I'm thinking that Liv was going to get the beating of her life, but instead she went after my love and Naomi, and I need answers why. I don't see Naomi being the person that takes out Jay Cargill. I don't see it. Bianca, yes. Because Bianca is just as strong, just as powerful, just as athletic. The only thing is the height advantage. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. What, Jay Cargill is like, what, 6 feet tall? And Bianca's like, what, 5'9", 5'10"? I just don't see it. I don't see it. And when Neil Scott took the belt from what's her face, Ripley, did you notice that Bianca had that look on her face? That look of, oh, it's gonna be my time. It's gonna be my time. Meaning she may turn heel, and I don't want Bianca to turn heel because what would that say of Montez Ford?
Well, they're in kind of like a transition spot right now, like Montez Ford. They're kind of in that I call it the classic Rock, Triple H, possibly even an Austin Undertaker, where they're not exactly heels, but they're not babyface either, right? They're in betweeners. Going back to what you said about like Bianca kind of looking and saying like, oh yeah, like it's going to be easy pickings. I think there's some long-term storytelling there, or at least short-term after WrestleMania, they could be setting up for that. Somebody's gonna, there's something still not to be revealed. Like Bayley still has to come out and see what her part in this whole Jade Cargill attack was. Bianca, we don't know if her hands are totally clean in everything, and Io Sky winning the title kind of puts Bianca in a place where the light's not on her for the next couple of weeks, even leading up to the month of WrestleMania in general. I would say that there's going to be something to be revealed about Bianca. There's going to be something to be revealed about Bayley. And I feel like they're going to have Jade play it slow, where she's just going to go on this hit list. And that hit list is going to reveal a lot. And it's ultimately going to put her in a place where Lox, you mentioned it about bringing the girls up from NXT, Lash Legend, right? Those two girls right there, Lash Legend and her tag partner, if they come up and they form that 3-woman power group, which Bianca and Naomi were supposed to do with Jade, and they start wrecking shop where nobody's in each other's way. You know what I mean? Lash Legend, and they get to turn around and go wreck shop on Bianca. Bianca's got to call and pull rank, so Bayley and Naomi go with her. So now you got a 3-on-3 right there. All the while, Rhea Ripley is kind of wrecking shop through a returning Becky Lynch. She's wrecking shop through, all of a sudden she's in Charlotte's face, and Charlotte is trying to get to record-breaking title number 15 or whatever it is. So you got 3 immediate storylines, and then Nia is on a warpath against what's her face, Tiffy, but she goes back and joins the bloodline, and you know what I mean? So now you got 4 separate storylines that will intersect. They just don't have to do it right now. And they'll have moments where somebody's a hit for hire, especially with Jade. Jade's the wild card in all this, in my opinion. And she's kind of the link to tell about 4 or 5 different stories, especially when it comes to a female bloodline. There's a door open there that we're not paying attention to right now. Zilla Fatu still has to come through NXT. There's so many different things that can happen with the women. And with those mid cards too, the mid cards are open too. Like Chelsea Green's, she's a goofball. And Liv, yeah, like her wrestling has never been clean, but she gets away with the seniority, right? And this is where she could possibly get phased out and sent back to NXT to do some work down there. I wouldn't be surprised if her and Raquel get sent back to NXT for a little bit.
All right, I want to transition back over to the men's side and say I want to say congratulations to Jey Uso, because I know he's going to win the belt. I already know that for certain, because they wouldn't write it off. They wouldn't write it off as him losing a fourth time to Gunther going into WrestleMania. I just don't see it. So I'm going to say an automatic congratulations. Also, I want to say congratulations to Cody for growing some balls. He finally grew a pair and said what he said, and I'm wondering what that storyline is going to be like now that John Cena has turned heel. Now it can go in many different directions. Now I know he wants to win his 17th championship, and that's mainly what he sold his soul for. Now, my question is, can a person that just turned heel, right, can he turn back babyface at WrestleMania and just say, okay, I was just basically doing that just because I just wanted to win the title, and I don't want you to get beat up real bad, but is it a possibility that a person can turn back babyface after just turning heel not too long ago?
I mean, absolutely, and I think eventually Cena will turn back to face eventually. You know, and I think the plan was for him to fight Gunther, but Jay is on such a mega run that they had to put Jay with somebody. You know, he's selling out merch. You know, he literally is. You know, when he comes out, he gets the loudest reception out of anybody, no matter what town he's in. And they had to find something for him to do. And you can't put a mid card title on him because he's just too hot. You know, and if you have him fight somebody mid card, you know he's gonna win. No matter who it is, it could be Nakamura, it can be whoever. He's too hot to be mid card at this point. So they had to figure out a way to get him in the mix. You know, and since Gunther's here, you know, they had to do that. But I think originally I think their original plans were a lot different before Jay got as hot as he did. You know what I mean? I think they were gonna definitely go with Punk and Rollins for the belt, and Gunther was gonna drop it at Rumble. You know what I mean? Or Elimination Chamber. That's what I was thinking. But Jay is so hot that, you know, they had to switch up plans. It's kind of like a Daniel Bryan type of thing. You know, they had the whole thing with Daniel Bryan. They wanted to go in one direction. But then Bryan was so hot that they had to switch it up. They totally had to switch it up. You know what I mean? So and that's what they did. So, you know, Jay being hot switches things up. And I think Cena could turn back face. Eventually he will. Before his title run is over, he's definitely gonna turn back face. I won't be surprised if him and The Rock have a match with each other. Eventually down the road. But yeah, this is only for Mania, and you know they have to have that guy in the mix as well. And the best way to get him in the mix is to and we got it. They also got to get that match between him and The Rock somewhat out the way as well, or even if it's a tag team match or whatever. So yeah, so like I said, I think it's going to be a tag team match with Cody and Roman on one side versus The Rock and Cena on the other side. And the stipulation would be, what's the stipulation for the world title match? You know what I mean? So, and eventually we'll kind of see the fallout from that. So yeah.
How old is Rock now? I know he's like
Rock got to definitely be in his 50s, definitely.
Yeah, he's in his 50s.
And he's wrestled Cena before and got injured. So do you think it's a real smart move for him to wrestle at his peak right now? Even though he's in shape physically. I mean, no kidding. But there's a difference between you just being in and out of the ring for so long. That's just like an MMA fighter that goes and does movies and comes back and thinking that I mean, of course, he has it all up here. You have it in your mind, but your body is a whole nother beast. You see what I'm saying? So,
Well, I mean, Cena's a lot way better of a wrestler than he is now than he was back then, as far as just his psychology and knowing how to wrestle. Of course, he's
right.
no longer in his prime, right? We know that, but just knowing how to wrestle, he's definitely, he did a pretty decent job at Elimination Chamber. He was decent. He wasn't spectacular, but he wasn't old school Cena. But he's decent. You know what I mean? So I think that yeah, eventually they will lock horns. It's not gonna be a long match, okay, and it's not gonna be long at all, and neither should it be. So um, but I also think that that it's one of the things where they kind of just want to get it out the way. They like to have the old school guys come back, and if they still be able to be active, they'll throw them in the mix with each other again. So yeah.
Uh, I was gonna say because you guys brought up that point about Rock and John Cena. I would say remember that Rock said he when after WrestleMania 40, he said to Cody that he wanted that belt because it would look he's never held it before, right? So what's a good way to give Rock the belt or get Rock the belt without having him go over on guys that still have to remain long term? Like Cody's got to be here for at least call it another 3 years, right? In terms of headlining, being a main guy. So does Roman. So does Seth. CM Punk maybe has another year or two. Orton, he's got to break through and get his next title. So and then you've got Gunther and Jay. Jay is going to be. It's funny that you brought it up because I was thinking the same thing. Mr. Best, that Jay he'll be that Daniel Bryan in between guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he has at least 3 championships to his name before he retires, right? And maybe one notable title defense. But and you guys might be able to tell me, I can't remember to right now. I don't think Roman's beat Gunther, like this version of Gunther. And him and Roman and Cody, aren't they 1-for-1 right now? I'm pretty sure they're 1-for-1. So if you want a story still that you can still tell, you make those guys go after the world heavyweight title because neither of those guys have held it. And now you bring Jay into that mix. So Gunther drops the title at WrestleMania to Jay. Jay goes on his defense, and somewhere in that defense, the biggest story comes along where, okay, Roman's never held it, Cody's never held it, The Rock and John Cena are doing their thing because Rock wants that title. Now you got these guys on separate things because this is the problem that WWE has and has had. As much as Jey Uso's white hot, they don't really like, from a booking standpoint, even Triple H doesn't really like the Daniel Bryan type stories. It's okay to have those guys to give your main stars a rest when they're injured, but you don't want to have to lean on those guys to carry that shark pool. Like back in the day when you had Austin, Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, Kurt Angle, like when you had those pool of guys running, you knew those guys were going to burn the house down, whether they were in a title story or not. Yes. You don't have that right now, at least not consistently, and the brands aren't being managed properly. So, like, what's another way to get these brands white hot again? Let the old guys build back up SmackDown with that Undisputed. Let Rock and Cena kind of come to a clash because everybody leaves the corporate some way or another. That's just history of WWE. And then let these guys. Go ahead. My bad.
Whose fault was that, though? Who in your mind, whose fault do you think that was for bad, as far as bad booking is concerned?
Oh, I mean, right now you can only blame Triple H, really and truly, and I mean, back then I would have definitely, coming out of the Attitude and Ruthless Aggression era, and with some of the moves he made during the reality era, I'm definitely going to blame Vince because it's short-sighted, right? Vince had a very narrow-minded archetype on what a champion is, and they also didn't build up Bobby Lashley to replace Brock Lesnar. So there's another problem in itself. So, I mean, both of these guys they're great workers in terms of their role, and Triple H is doing great work. As a fan, I think he can spread his wings a little bit more to develop some of these stories that will be able to work for him long term, where he doesn't have to make a mistake in losing on Bobby Lashley, who should be replacing Brock Lesnar, to provide another element to that story. But yeah, there's room there for to kind of split these stories up, because the undisputed title is stale. Like, it has no prestige. As a fan, to me, it has no prestige. And so you might want to lean on something that can become a hotter story. And I would even shift Seth Rollins, throw him and Randy Orton and CM Punk, throw those guys into the undisputed title story while John Cena and Rock are doing their thing, and have that blow up and create some sparks over there, and let Jey Uso do something that nobody expected him to do, which was defend his title for a year. And one of the hottest storylines you can give him is his cousin challenging him, his brother possibly getting into that challenge mix for a fatal 4-way, and Cody Rhodes getting back, and obviously Gunther wanting his title. There's your modern day 5-man, 6-man Armageddon, and then you throw a 6-man in out of nowhere. Who knows?
So
I totally agree with Conrad. I totally agree with him. I think that, like you said, Cody's title is stale. You know what I mean? It has been stale for a while. And so this is why they have to do what they're doing. And I also think that, yes, we eventually got to get, Jay and Roman in the ring for a championship match, as well as, Cody and Roman again, because they're tied. So they definitely have to break the tie eventually. Because they kind of have like a Rock and Roman type of thing going on. And I like how they did that little interview with them in the stadium when he was like, Roman's like, "You're in my way in life," and it all plays, it all goes, to everything that needs to coincide. Salute to Sporter HQ Network. What's going on, family? I mean, I will say this though, as well. I think that let me not lose my train of thought. I think the thing that Jay is missing, like, it's not the fact that it's just bad booking. It's just the fact that Jay is hot, but he's not as good of a wrestler as a Daniel Bryan. We know that he's not even in that caliber. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why you can't even have the title on him long. You know what I mean? So I think that's a big thing, y'all. Hold on 1 second. I gotta take this call. I'm here.
Yeah.
But, okay, I get. I mean, yeah, Jay has the same 4 moves that people expect him to use, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't take a rocket science, like, for somebody like, say, Bret Hart to, like, do what, Stu did to him, his father did to his brother, and so on. It just give him like a couple of submission moves, so what he can use. I mean, high flying moves, you using tag team wrestling moves. I get it. I got it. But he knows that if he wants to climb higher than he's ever climbed before in this business, you're gonna have to sacrifice something. I mean, you have your twin brother who has the same exact moves as you do.
Yep.
So I was like, of course, just what I would do is I would keep the super kick, right? I would get rid of that stupid climb off the top rope and fly down belly to belly drop. I would get rid of that and do like Steel Sting's moves, like Scorpion Deathlock or something, or Bret Hart Sharpshooter or whoever. I mean, let's face it, every single wrestling move that was in the 90s has gotten stolen or whatnot by KO has been stolen by KO. I mean, he has what? Steve Austin's stunner, Stone Cold Stunner, doesn't
Yep.
even work properly. Uh,
It's so
Daniel,
true.
Seth Rollins has taken Triple H's moves. The only thing he has is that stupid curve stomp, which doesn't really stun anybody. But let's just do it like this. If you're going to take any move, take a submission move. Like I would take the chicken wing. You remember old Bob, right? From back then.
Yep, Bob Backlund.
Bob Backlund that gave Bret Hart so many problems. Still Bob Backlund's move.
But you know what the funny thing is about that chicken wing? If you go back and watch old tapes, like, and I don't know if he did this either by accident, but a lot of times, even when he was coming out of like the mid 90s, there was times when he locked that in and he's locking his nails like into almost the gull of the throat. Like Bob Backlund made that move something different. Like when he put that in, like I used to be a kid watching that, like, and I'm like, yo, no, please don't lock the chicken wing on him, because if he does that, like the man had blood in his nails. Now, I mean, different times in the 90s. We're talking about just barely pre-Attitude Era, but like the man had blood in his nails. You're not supposed to have blood in your nails from a chicken wing. You know what I mean? So, but no, I agree with you on the fact that, like, I don't know. Well, Jay, if he's gonna take something like the sharpshooter, because I'm a big fan of the sharpshooter. I'm a big fan of the crossface. One thing I don't like with all of these guys that they seem to be doing is, yeah, like you're going for, you know, chain wrestling, very shifting, keep the crowd on their toes. But these moves aren't being executed correctly. Like even when Daniel Bryan used to do the diving headbutt, like I used to get mad at that because there was no selling impact from the giver to the person who's getting it. It wasn't enough of a sell when, you know, I say rest in peace to him, Chris Benoit. When he did it, it was a tide turner. Even if he was losing for 90% of the match, he hits that flying headbutt, it's a problem now. Even if he loses the match, it's still a problem. Like, you got to come back from that. Now we're on even. You put in the sharpshooter. I think the last person that I even accepted the sharpshooter from, and I still didn't even like it, was from The Rock, because The Rock would never sit in like Bret Hart would. And I don't know if that was just something they changed along the way because of his last couple feuds in his younger days was with specifically Austin, and Austin was dealing with the whole compressed spine issues and compressed discs in his neck and all that stuff. So maybe that was a part to play in that. I don't think I'm not gonna lie. If I was Triple H, for the sake of how he used to pull off the pedigree, tell Seth Rollins to stop doing that. Like, he failed at your entrance lights. He's failed at the pedigree. Like, make him get a new move too. Like, you got to. But I agree with you. Jay needs to dig back into the archives. But I think it's got to be a storyline related. I think he's got to do something out of desperation or where he snaps because, let's say, his brother screws him over. Somebody just unexpectedly screws him over, and he snaps because he loses the title when he should have won it. And that brings out that new move out of him, whatever it is, and that just becomes his finisher or his signature to a new finisher. But yeah, Jay, if Jay has one opportunity individually and maybe even storyline, if he gets in shape, cuts that belly a little bit, and gets in somewhat shape, so he can even appear at like he can go the distance, that might do something for him. But Jay, yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. Jay definitely needs a new finisher, or a new series to a finisher.
Maybe he can learn something from his cousin Roman, a possibility, or he could talk to his father. But I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to stay away from things like, you know, trying to go old school wise and just figure out things for himself. But sometimes it's just like old fighters when they lose their match, they go back to things that possibly may work. Like you know, if you're fighting up against the ropes and you're getting your ass whooped, you may want to go to a Mayweather route when you're using rope a dope or something like that. But mainly for him, for Jay, as far as him getting in shape, he goes at it every day. Him and you remember him and Braun Breaker used
Yeah.
to go. They went at it. They went hardcore with it, and I like their feud. I like their match. But the difference, you want me to know that you want to know the difference between the two? Jay is not an athlete.
That's
Braun
true.
Breaker is.
Yeah.
Braun
That's true.
Breaker is an athlete. I mean, have you seen him run around the ring full speed? That's not even full speed.
Yeah.
And he runs so fast he shook the ring. That's how much of an athlete he is. And plus, didn't he play football at one time for the Ravens,
Yep.
for the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens?
Yep. He played football before that.
Uh-huh. And who's his father? Rick Steiner?
Also, and his uncle, and
His
all of them are
uncle is
collegiate
Scott Steiner.
athletes.
All of them are collegiate athletes from Battle Creek.
Yep.
So yeah, he's set. He is freaking set. But I think he'll be okay. Just stay away because you already won an Intercontinental belt. Stay away from those type of jobbing situations if you can help it. But then again, of course, I don't know the booking. I don't know the booking situation of what they're going to do through him or for him.
Well, Triple H doesn't have a mid card to work with, though. Like that's see, this is the problem the WWE's been since the Attitude Era. If we go back to the Attitude Era, you had a defined upper echelon, you had a defined mid card, and then you had your elite jobbers. Like everybody was elite at their level. Might not like going back and watching those now, you're kind of like you might cringe a little bit, but those guys were all elite within their level. So it's just like it was like when I look at it overall, I'm like, we don't have a mid card. We have guys that should be right. Like Braun Breaker, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one who knocks Jay off for his championship. You know what I mean? Like, so like, and as you mentioned it, like I didn't even think about that until you said it. And I'm like, yeah, this is a really great segue. The last guy that took the title from Jay would be the next guy to take it. That'd be that same guy to take that title from Jay. And he's actually a thoroughbred. He's raised for this. Yeah, it's in Jay's family to wrestle, but it's also, you got family against family. There's that running narrative again, right? Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Right. Yeah, I remember that time when they had that promo, that feud, that discussion, and I almost forgot that. Of course, Braun Breaker has his family, and had feud with Jey Uso's family from back then. So
yeah,
that's not surprising at all. That is not surprising at all to me. So this is what I propose to him, right? It's like I said before, do a submission move, but do a submission move that is like what you would say tells a story. The only submission move that I can think of is the cross, not the crossface chicken wing, but what still one from I hate to say his name because I wrestling wise, Chris Benoit was that guy. I mean, they called him the Rapid Wolverine for a reason. I mean, he came in, handled business, was part of the Four Horsemen, and I think his finishing move was the cripple face crossler or something like that. You can use that to your advantage, but I think you would have to sell it. I don't see him selling that. The other move that I'm thinking of is possibly maybe to use Gunther's move against him and use the sleeper hold against him and see if that works.
Could he translate that into Roman Reigns' old rope choke, where he kind of puts him in a backwards dragon choke, or the Undertaker's Gates of Hell?
He's too small. No. I'm not saying that to joke. I'm not saying to joke with him, but I'm saying, like, look at the size of his. Now his brother might get away with it because his brother's a little bit taller, but look at the size of both. And you're forgetting Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar,
the Kimura lock, yeah, no,
Kimura lock, he can't do that. What you call it, the thing from hell from Undertaker, he can't do that.
Even if he doesn't do the Gates of Hell, but like there's still a single arm triangle choke, which is a floor mat submission. If he could, I mean, I don't know how they even build that into the storyline. I don't know how they build that for him to even learn that.
I don't know how they're going to do it either. But like I said, those 4 little wasted moves are not going to work. They're not going to work. So he's going to have to. He has a couple of months to figure it out. He has more than a couple of months to figure it out. But he needs to add and subtract something.
Mm-hmm.
That's
100%.
That's what I would mainly do for him. And for his brother's sake, I would mainly have to say for him to. I mean, I don't know. Jimmy, I would say Jimmy is right where he's at right now. He wrestled with the Carmelo Hayes of the world, and the LA Knights. He's right where he needs to be at this moment.
If Jimmy doesn't push to even get in the mid-card title scene and make that the mid-card title needs to be like a 5-6 man run, and even in that they need to be able to be split up into certain storylines because I'll be honest, like, I don't know if it's just the generation that we're in, and there's certain constraints on the storytelling that Triple H can only go so far week by week. But like, these mid-card titles are elitely lackluster, and they need to figure something out. They need to put some spice in there. There needs to be some drama. Like, those guys need to go. Like, okay, and the reason why I'm saying that, look at example, right? Intercontinental title. When you have Rock not even in his prime, you have Baby Rock, like, just turned heel, Nation of Domination versus Austin.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, still has the hoop earring. You have you have Rock versus Triple H, Intercontinental title. You have Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon, Intercontinental title. Like, when you look at those feuds, none of those guys were perfected at that time, and that's obvious. But when it comes to scripting and storytelling long term, all of those feuds, especially Austin, Triple H, and The Rock, lasted. We're talking about 20 years of feuds that carried over from the mid card to the main card, and every one of those guys could. I mean, I don't even. Aren't they?
Everybody wants to be friends. That's why.
The LeBron James effect.
I can't with you. But everybody wants to be friends. That would be why. Everybody's got the my pinky hurts, my back, guess what? I know people who had wrestled with tear biceps and was still whooping ass in the ring.
Yep. So
this should be no excuse with this era. But the problem with this is it's a new era. It's like, yeah, well, I don't want people to suffer like I did, with the tore quad or whatever. So I'm gonna give them as much rest as possible. So when the next pay-per-view comes around, they'll be ready.
Yeah, but what do they do? What do they do when they do get that guy that wants to do that, though?
Huh?
I said, what do they do when they get a guy who's like, yo, okay, whatever, my quad's torn or my biceps torn, like, yo, let me do what Austin did and run some promos and do some run-in ring interference where I'm still here even though I'm rehabbing, and then when I'm fully cleared, you know what I mean, let me just, you know, clap somebody with a steel chair shot. Like, what do they do with that guy? They're not going to have anybody else for that guy to go through because everybody's going to be, oh, I'm resting at home.
Oh, I thought they banned the chair shots.
They did, but I don't know. It seems like certain things are starting to slowly make their way, unless they're going to be PLE only.
Because I mean, if you're gonna I would make a special request. I would say bring back TLC matches. I'm just saying, bring back TLC matches.
Oh, and for sure.
Make it official. Because Edge and RVD, and may his soul rest in paradise. Damn it! I lost the train. My man that passed away. Oh, leave on our last side, mother. Ah, damn it!
Oh, Eddie Guerrero.
Those were some of the best TLC matches ever, in my opinion. Now, the Cody and KO feud, that was quite okay, but it's like, I hurt my neck. I'm gonna take a month off.
No, they failed when they brought out because I don't know if you watched it. When I was watching it and I heard the crowd's reaction to the barbed wire steel chair, even though that chair was a padded one, but still, yeah, that chair was thick, like on all sides. But they didn't do it justice because there was no head grind. Like if that was like Cactus Jack and Triple H or Cactus Jack and Edge, like somebody's head would have been grinded into that for at least a good 30 seconds.
Oh my God. They put real cactuses and real thumbtacks in that ring, and there was no escaping that. It's like you were getting put to work. This little thing. Oh, this was that era back then. This is just, we're gonna put a little barbed wire around the thing, and we're gonna pat it a little bit. Did you see that debacle that Naomi and what was it, Naomi and Jax? What Jax did to Naomi? She didn't even hit the girl.
Yeah, foolishness.
She didn't even hit the girl. She just get a little pop. I'm like, if you won't hit her, hit her.
But the thing is, they haven't done that level of work. Like they don't even have anybody from the old school coming in to train them. Like think about it, because when you go back and dig stories about how they used to go through training, they used to have like I'm talking about like Trips. Even some of the other ladies would have the older ladies to come in and train them, and the older stars to come in and train them how to even take that chair shot. Like, think about it. Triple H has one of the best sells when it comes to steel chair shots. And he already had his back like tightly wound to be able to even take that. It still hurt. It was a hit. But like he always like clinched and braced for that. And it was part of the sell. But if you go back and look at it, you slow it down and you kind of see how they went into working those transitions and those shots. Like, you know what I mean? It's a different generation too. They didn't have all these comforts. You hit it right on the head. Like, they didn't have, you want to go spend time with your family? We're going to give you a week off. Or you know what? We're going to tape this week's episode just so 5 guys can have their week off next week. Vince wasn't doing that for nobody.
No. I was just going to say that.
Even Eric Bischoff wasn't doing that, and WCW wasn't the best run product at that time either. So, and ECW definitely wasn't doing that, and they were house shows.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you a little bit. a little bit. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
It didn't get watered down until Vince Russo started taking over.
True.
He was just a writer, and he was writing scripts, and he was writing how things should be, and things were going according to his plan until he started taking over as it then start watering down. And it just started getting sour and soft. Now, of course, you had to blame everything on the Bill Goldberg era, because it was supposed to be NWO. It was supposed to be NWO versus Sting, then an NWO Black and White versus NWO Red and Black. But for some odd, strange reason, Goldberg appears and he started getting into this winning streak, which is quite profound to me, because I guess they wanted to compete with WWE at that time, because they wanted to say that, since we have our Steve Austin, in the mix, but a little bit more powerful and a little bit more sanity. But there's a difference between what Steve Austin did and what Goldberg did. Goldberg didn't have the mouthpiece. Austin did. And Austin did it in the slick way. Austin was not a wrestler by any means. He did things the slick way and got audience's attention, along with the middle finger, along with the drinking of the beers and stuff, and giving great promos. Did Goldberg give a great promo?
Nope.
Not exactly.
But you have to remember, Steve can actually wrestle. Before the last set of injuries that WCW fired him over, and his time of healing before he got to WWE. Even if you look at early Steve, like, think about his feud with Bret Hart alone, because we got to remember when Steve came in, Undertaker, Sid Vicious, Bret Hart in his prime, Owen Hart in his, like, all these cats are in their prime, and those weren't, like, again, those weren't short matches, right? Austin could actually carry, like, Austin was a rare package. He wasn't completely perfect and polished. He wasn't the excellence of execution, but you weren't going to go run over him on a technical match. And that was the thing about Austin. Like, even how they would, the commentary was during his matches. Austin, rear naked choke. Austin slaps him in the leg for the figure four. Austin working the arm. Like, Austin could be Triple H. He could be aspects of Bret Hart and drag out a match and be technically sound. But his character was a brawler. Is like, okay, I'm a smack you in the mouth. Like, you're talking too much now. I don't like how you're talking. Like, I'm gonna get at you. And that was, again, like, his marketing was the everyday man. Goldberg is not the everyday man. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, and even with Goldberg's, I used to be on his run and be like, yo, that's impressive, until I found out that, like, there was certain episodes when he got to, like, I think it was like win number 50, where they started, like, miscounting. One week he'd be at, like, 60, the next week he's at 75. So it's just like, after that, I found out that happened, I was kind of like, ugh, okay, WCW.
Did they discount how many wins he had?
Yeah, bro. If you go there's if we connect on the backside, I'll send you some of the clips that I found. A lot. Goldberg's streak wasn't really what it was, even for selling a story. It was they messed it up, and it was caught on tape by fans.
Oh boy. What do you think? Because I was just thinking in my mind, what would be a good feud, but the promos are just terrible. If somebody could work on Damian Priest's promos, he could be the guy for the mid cards. I think. Yeah. I think him and because he needs to stop it with this whole not the bloodline. What am I thinking about?
You think Finn Balor?
The whole Finn Balor thing that needs to be put to rest.
No, that should be done. I mean, I feel kind of sorry for Finn because he has no direction after this. Like he's done.
I mean, but this is the here and now. He needs to win the title here and now, even though I don't really want him to. Win it now, while everything is fresh. While he's trying to possibly break away from the what's that fraction that he's in right now? The
Judgment Day.
The Judgment Day. He needs to just break away from the Judgment Day, because we all knew that thing was over once Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley left. We all know that was over. Because think about it, you can bring in a regular Joe Schmo like LA Knight to beat up Judgment Day. There'll be no thing. And I think I'm not kidding. I think LA Knight deserves an Intercontinental Championship, in my humble opinion.
Oh no, I agree. I can agree with that.
But the feud that everyone's talking about, and I think should be expanded for the next 6 months. CM Punk and hold on, I'm sorry. CM Punk and
Seth Rollins.
I think that thing should be expanded for the next 6 months, because I think CM Punk, he has 2 more years left. 2 more years left, and I just think he should just go ahead and retire and just go off to the sunset, because he's starting to get slower. I mean, his in work is okay, but he's 40-some years old. His body has been in so many wrecks.
Yeah,
and I just think that he could feud with Seth Rollins for the next six months to a year. And if somebody can come along like a Cody Rhodes turn bad, that would be perfect for him. But the time would be now. But again, I just don't trust the booking. I don't trust the storyline. I just don't trust it.
Oh no, 100%. I agree with you on that. And
what's the favor? And I'm trying to think, what was the favor? Does anybody know what the favor was?
I honestly think it's going to come down to a point where there's going to be like another corporate heel turn in that way. Well, with CM Punk, he's kind of in a good position because he's like Austin. Nobody can tell him what to do. You can't make him do this. You can't make him do that. But I think it's going to be in a moment where, okay, let's say Rock is like, he's on the top of the hill. Roman's like, I want my championship back. Let's do what we never got to do 2 years ago. Let's do it now. And then, Wise Man says, okay, Rock, I know, you and your cousin got this thing going on, but I got my advocate over here. And he wants to get into the mix. Like, you're going to let him get in the mix? And The Rock goes, okay, here's what I'm going to do, because I love you. But I did make a promise. And I always keep my promises.
Yeah.
So you got to go through him to get to this. And I expect you to come through. So here comes another moment where you got the high chief telling the tribal chief, if you want to make this official and make it what it's supposed to be, you got to go through CM Punk. But then again, you have that Seth kind of always lurking in the background, because and I don't know how you work that. Maybe you work that into, as you said, Damian Priest needs to get better on the mic. Who knows? Maybe Rock gets a hold of Damian for something and gets him to do something else, or maybe CM Punk gets Damian to take out Seth. Who knows, right? And that forces, Finn Balor to feeling like he's left in the dust. So he breaks away from the Judgment Day, tries to get into the main scene, and you got Damian Finn Balor and Seth. That breaks away so, CM Punk can go on his title run, and it turns right back around to Seth because Seth doesn't want him to win the title. So he ends up slapping up The Rock, kicks up Roman, and then he turns his face towards Seth to CM Punk. And now you got CM Punk and Seth Rollins for the title. And now, the Rock and Cena thing is done. Roman, he's kind of free to free roam. No pun intended. And Cody is heel, wrecking shop on Raw. You got him and Gunther and, whoever else. Jay's doing his thing. Jimmy might be able to be thrown in the mix, or like you said, an LA Knight. You throw him into the mid-card title. Like, there's so many possibilities. Like, there's a lot of great foundations for story, but like, I think Triple H is in a situation where he has an idea of the stories he wants to tell, and either he's not presenting it to the board on a business level where they will accept it. Like, I'm talking about TKO, the parent company. He's not presenting it to them where they are going to want to, say, all right, let's really hold on to this, or, that's a good idea. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but Triple H is clearly failing with booking and presenting that to TKO in a way where they can say, okay, that makes money. Let's do it.
What will we do with the not Wonder from Down Under? I'll get to that dude in a minute because he always loses matches. Every time he moves to a different section, he always ends up losing. He's lost to Jey Uso three times. He's lost to Jimmy once. He's pretty much lost to almost everybody but the cameraman. And he wants to get into a little hissy fit. So he went from Raw to SmackDown. And you know who I'm talking about, right? The guy that comes out with the sword.
Drew McIntyre. Put him in the mid
Drew
card.
McIntyre. He's done. He's freaking done. He's a low card at this point. I mean, what I think I know what he was trying to do. I think he was either trying to form his own section to get rid of Roman Reigns in the bloodline, but that didn't quite work. So what you end up doing is you're trying to do it. They wrote it so he did it himself, and he kept losing to everybody. I'm like, wait a minute. You're 6'5", 250 pounds, and you lose to Jimmy Uso, who is a tag team guy. I'm like, what?
That's I never thought about that like that. That's actually very true.
I understanding you losing to Punk. I understand that. I understanding you losing to Seth Rollins. I understand that. But Jimmy? And you, I don't know. Every excuse that you make, every single excuse that you make. I mean, didn't he, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he win the world title for 5 minutes and lost it?
Yeah, he got that cash in flex. He got that cash in on his head top.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, I don't disagree with you at all on that. I don't know what, like, I don't know what to say about him, man. Because but I kind of like, I look at I look at Drew McIntyre the same way I look at Karrion Kross. It's like, why are you guys here? Like, you guys got a great frame of work. Pause. You guys got you guys in shape. You have the look,
Yes.
but you're not doing anything. You cannot tell me that you're not going to Trips and saying, yo, Trip, this storyline, this part of the storyline is garbage, or it's just not working for me, or the crowd is not responding to me. Like I don't know what you got to say to get in Trips' head to say, like, okay, we gotta retool this part of the story because it's just not working. Or hell, yeah, put me back in the mid card. Let me go to work, right? Whichever title is the lesser title right now. Let's get some of these main storylines going and ramped up for WrestleMania. So WrestleMania is literally white hot. And then let me go to work in the mid card. Because the way I see it is I don't understand how out of the mid card you have what's his face? Sheamus beefing with Ludwig Kaiser, who hasn't accomplished anything. This man needs one title to become a Grand Slam. Like, you have all these guys who need one more title to do something great. And we're holding them up. So like let Drew go in the mid card section and wreck shop.
Sheamus, I'm not gonna lie to you. He needs to win a belt. I will put him in that category real quick. I mean, you win this belt and then you're pretty much done. Because I cannot stand to see your fat ass any longer. Yes, you put in work. You come in, you came in the first time around 6'2", 6'3", 130 pounds soaking wet. You come back after being injured, and all we see is your belly. I'm like,
yeah.
Is Sheamus Samoan?
It's all that Guinness he be drinking.
Guinness and burgers or whatever. It's like we don't need to be seeing that. We need to be seeing the Sheamus of old, who had wrestling tactics and wrestled Cena, wrestled Roman, wrestled damn near everybody and was doing great, but fortunately you got injured and then you come back and then we see nothing but beer belly. And I know dude is your best friend, but geez Louise. And then you get Jade Cargill to train you and you don't even want to train.
Oh, you saw that video too? Oh
I
my
did
goodness.
see that. I did.
Oh my goodness. Oh my.
You're way stronger than she is, but she's beating you in what is it? She's beating not in legless, forearm presses. She's beating you in forearm presses.
But Jade's a beast though. Jade is a beast. Like these guys not ready for Jade.
At some point, the Bianca and Jade Cargill match is gonna have to happen. I'm sick and tired of them.
It's gonna happen, and nobody's gonna. The way it's gonna go down, I guarantee you, nobody's gonna like it. Number one, and I'm not saying that he's racist, but Triple H. All right. I'm not saying he's not racist. I'm just not saying he's racist. He does not know how to work black talent.
Don't let me get started.
He does not. From the women.
Keep it clean.
From the women. Like, how do you have?
Started.
I'm all for Carmelo Hayes, but you're telling me you would have rather have Carmelo Hayes come up rather than the man with the hottest. When you're talking about the whole crowd singing your song, you don't get a better song than "Whoop That Trick." Like every nationality that for the last 20 years that has been able to sing Hustle and Flow will be sitting there in that entrance song with Trick Williams coming out to that "Whoop That Trick." Like That's just number one. But overall, Triple H does not know how to work black talent. I guarantee you he's going to fumble this whole situation with Jade, Bianca, Naomi, including Lash Legend and her girl down in NXT.
He's gonna botch that up, but Vince knew how to put a title in big man's hands, John Henry.
Yep.
Henry's hands.
Yep. Mark Henry.
You can't learn from him.
Of course. Well, I'll be if my unfiltered, honest opinion is that Triple H doesn't want to learn from that time, right? Triple H doesn't want to learn from that. If you look at look at Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley says, "Give me a faction, and I'll stay." He doesn't say, "Give me more zeros." There's probably there's always money to it, but he says, "Give me a faction. Let me do my evolution thing."
Right.
I don't even need to be the main guy the whole time I'm here. I just want my faction. Yes. Even just Shelton Benjamin and MVP. Give me those two guys alone, because they could have threw any other black guy in there that they had at the time. You could have even put Carmelo Hayes with them. Probably would have been better for him.
There's a guy that says that Triple H is not prejudiced because he doesn't see color in
Booker T. I ain't taking Booker T's word for nothing.
Booker T is from Texas. Okay, we don't have to stress. I love Booker T, but the ass kissing that he does is quite tremendous. I respect Stevie Ray more than I respect. Like I said, no shade. No, none at all. I'm a little bit more because I see the writing on the wall, right? I mean, of course, you took the contract when you said you wanted to get embarrassed by Steve Austin and getting your ass beat all over the damn grocery store. which was funny as shit, but realize you took that, right? You took that humiliation.
You're not pouring milk on me or saying I clean up in aisle 3 after you knock me down or sing When You're High. But you're not gonna sing It's Amore over me. I'm sorry.
Impossible.
You remember that scene? When Your Eye hits the sky, Michael Big beats the pie. That's Amore. Oh my gosh. When he hit that, I was like, Booker, please slap him with something. There's a bottle of orange juice right there. Just hit him with it. Please. Get at him.
Oh, he hit him with them crackers. With them goddamn crackers. Saltine crackers. I'm like, don't you ever mess up them saltine. There's some goddamn good saltine crackers.
Oh my goodness, man! Oh, yeah, I was like, yeah, Vince must have gave him some extra money for that. There's no way he did that for free, just for the love of the game.
I think they paid that grocery store like punitive damages, like somewhere up to $1 million, because they did $1 million worth of damages.
Oh, easily.
I liked it when they were in the bingo hall. And
then he called what do you call it, B50 or something, like B10 or something, and then he's like, yeah, I won, and then he looks up and Austin's just sitting there looking at him.
Where the hell is all of that, man? Where did all that go?
It's different times. We're talking about Spike Network. Yeah, because that whole debacle was on Spike Network. Spike Network back in the day, everything for them was PG-13. Like their general shows were hitting like hard. So like you didn't have to have a filter on that. You think about the whole scene, even where Trish Stratus got her clothes ripped off in the ring. That was on Monday Night Raw. The whole flirting with Vince McMahon on Monday Night Raw on Spike TV at 9 p.m. Eastern time, like that wasn't those are still prime time for North, especially for North America.
Dude,
So
that's
it's-
nothing compared to it when Rheda Rheda
Edge.
was and Edge were in the ring and they did
In the
that
bed.
scene. Come on now. I would take that over this old woman getting damn near butt naked any day of the week.
That is also true.
Right.
That is also true.
And they tried to do that with Jackie too. I mean, I love Jackie. I love Jackie.
Yeah.
But do you think that Jay, Naomi, and Bianca would fall for something like that? No. They're married.
No. All of them been having relationships and been in their relationships for years on end. Like I didn't even know. I was shocked.
John would approve? Do you think Montres would approve? Do you think that the famous football player for the Rays would actually approve of Jay Cargill doing that shit?
Nope. Not even close, my brother. Not even close. Not a chance.
No. And the Trish Stratus era, please forget it. Forget it. Ain't nobody joining Playboy. Ain't nobody joining Playboy here.
Like, well, look what happened. Yo, Mandy Rose, or whatever her name was, she joined OF and started and yo, they kicked her out quick time. So they don't want no part of that. And you know what the thing is like this is I really and truly believe this is the problem because yo, you got to remember again in the 90s, even what was it, late 90s, early 2000, WWE wasn't a publicly traded company. It wasn't until they went publicly traded at the New York Stock Exchange that certain things started happening, and it's been that way ever since. And now that TKO owns them, and I mean, I don't even understand why TKO won't, loosen the reins a little bit, but that's neither here nor there on the business. But it's just never going to be the same. And when you can't have that freedom, even for a guy like Triple H, who's been through all of that, and he doesn't have the freedom to go into some of those places, even if you're not going to do that specifically with the women, but even say a grocery store scene with the men, like there was things that Vince did with the wrestlers of different ethnicities that was just like, you knew he was pushing the envelope, and he was like, it doesn't matter because hate me or love me, people they're gonna buy it. And out of that, again, you mentioned it, Mark Henry. My man went from being sexual chocolate to being Hall of Pain.
Yes.
Smashed Undertaker and Batista, who were, again, white hot at that time, and went on like a 6-month run. You know what I mean? Like, Triple H doesn't have that freedom. Whether we want to acknowledge it or not, he actually doesn't have that freedom. So TKO is hoping that he can bring back some semblance of the 90s within the confines of how he has to operate now. And it's not working because these guys have too much leisure.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The closest thing that you have to a black solo star is going to be Jey Uso. Have black, have Samoan. Just like Rock.
Yep.
Have black, have Samoan. But they don't want that 100% African American like Carmelo Hayes, which he's starting to grow on me, dude. But I'm just like every other fan that's out there. It's starting to get a little bit upset.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to get a little bit upset because you're spending your money on this. You're spending your money on your pay-per-views. You're spending money on Netflix, and Netflix is only $7.
Yep.
But people are not gonna pretty soon not gonna be buying your merch over somebody that was like, hold on, a clearly a superstar in the making that you brought over to NXT, aka Shawn Michaels trusted in. You brought him over, and pretty soon you're going, believe it or not, you're going to bring Trick Williams in because it's starting to get stale again. I mean,
but is it too late?
What you did Saturday was it. It should be from that point on. It should be the expectation should be lifted a little higher. But now that you got jobbers that I got part-time work, I got movies to make, and so on and so forth. And they asked The Rock, is he good? Is he bad? Is he this? Is he that? Is like, what the hell is really going on? And he gave a slick ass answer. All right? Like he always does. But he's a superstar. He doesn't have to prove anything to anybody, right? He doesn't. Just like Roman Reigns. He's been down for 4 years. He doesn't have, in the COVID area, he doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. But we're the ones paying to buy these expensive ass tickets. In WrestleMania, we're talking like from $400 to like $3,000.
Bro, did you hear what happened last year? Was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year. Yeah, the ringside tickets were like running for $10K a pop.
You're talking about at the bottom level or at the top?
I'm talking ringside, like at ringside, like ramp.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Like
you go to a LA game, it's basically the same. True. So I'm not shocked at that.
Yeah,
you're not gonna get a regular person to spend that much money on some damn seats, especially when you get people not coming. Come on now, you ain't gonna do that. Even Jack Nicholson stopped coming.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's a whole different topic. I mean, whether I can afford it or not, I'm not paying any type of money to come watch LeBron James and the refs travel. I'm sorry. Anyways,
it's 10K for bottom row seats. Like for the, I want to see it up close and personal seats. Yes.
Yep. And it's just, but you know what the thing is before like, it's two things concerning all the black wrestlers. Because even Obafemi, like, he's this generation's Mark Henry, in my opinion. They should turn him heel completely. He doesn't need to be a crowd favorite. Keep his same gimmick, the way he's coming to the ring, keep his same music, everything. But he needs to be a heel. And both him and Trick Williams need to come up. And I'm sorry, Carmelo Hayes, you need to slide back down. Because you're not him. Or you keep them there and it's a feud. Maybe that's your opening feud. You know, you couldn't beat me when I was in NXT, and you're not gonna beat me here.
But look what they keep putting him up against. You're putting up against somebody who's 7 feet tall, and you're nothing but 5'10". You keep putting up against people that you should beat. Okay, look, let's not get on him. Let's get on I just said his name earlier. He's a tag team brother. Who's married to Bianca Balair?
Montez Ford.
Montez Ford. Look at his situation. Should he be a solo artist? I think so. But if you want to stay a tag team for that long period of time, you're not going to get much, especially for who you know is doing the booking.
Mm-hmm.
And you already expressed online, personally on X, how you truly feel about certain people that I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But if you want to stay this way, go fine. Learn lessons will be learned. I do feel sorry. I do feel sorry for Montez Ford. I do feel sorry for Carmelo Hayes. I felt sorry for Bobby Lashley. I don't know why they fired him.
No, they didn't fire him. They just didn't re-sign him. His contract was already up.
That's a firing. If they don't re-sign you,
I was trying to say it nicely, Baji.
If they don't re-sign you to a contract, homie, you got canned. You got let go.
True.
Because you have a body of a god almost, and you can lay out pretty much anybody in this era. I don't know. Him and Braun Breaker would have that match. I want him and Braun Breaker to have that match, but clearly, he's gone.
But they weren't happy. If you go back to the last Royal Rumble he was in, right, and Brock Lesnar enters the ring, and Brock was notorious for not game planning with the other wrestlers before he goes into a match. It was funny. WrestleMania, I think it was WrestleMania 38 exposed that when I saw the behind the scenes on that. And Roman said he went to go talk to Brock. Or no, it was back. Remember when Seth Rollins cashed in Money in the Bank on Brock Lesnar and Roman and won the championship? Like we're talking about, So Roman exposed it and said he tried to go talk to Brock before the match. He's like, Brock doesn't game plan. He just goes in there. He's like, yo, we're gonna just pause. He said we're gonna feel it out. So when Brock came into the Royal Rumble, and fast forward years now, he comes into the Royal Rumble and Bobby Lashley manhandles him. Like, think about it. As they're used to Brock doing whatever he wants to everybody, and now he goes up against the black guy, and he can't do that to the black guy. To the point where if you go back and watch that tape, there's other wrestlers that are in the ring that are like, whoa, like Brock usually throws guys on the back of their head. The black guy, threw the big country white guy on the back of his head.
You talking about the MMA guy?
Yeah. Bobby Lashley threw Brock Lesnar, UFC guy, the beast incarnate, on the back of his head. And it's just standing there like, come give me some more.
The one who used to play for the Vikings.
Yeah. If you go back and watch that and you see when Bobby Lashley gives him the German suplex, there's everybody that's supposed to be laying down selling their wounded bodies is like, whoa, like, is that Brock that just got thrown? And you see Brock and he's looking at him like, okay, I didn't game plan. Well, this is what happens when you don't talk to guys before the match. Now you come in and everybody knows what Brock Lesnar does. And Bobby Lashley's like, nah, dog, you going to take this German suplex and I'm going to stand up right in front of you when you turn around and let you know that you're not about to wreck shop in here. And in my opinion, that was the beginning of the end. Because even though Brock Lesnar was supposed to be eliminated, he was not written to be getting thrown around the ring before he got eliminated, because it made Brock Lesnar look weak. Yes. So then he gets eliminated, and then you have the case with him being named with Vince McMahon. So I personally think Bobby Lashley and MVP and anybody who liked them was in that group. Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, they got punished because Brock does things Brock's way, and he's the great white hype, but he ran into a big black wall that said, you not going to run over me at WrestleMania. I don't have a title. Nobody's not giving me a shot. What do I have to lose? And that's the way they treat the black guy. They treat all of the black wrestlers. And I guarantee you, they're going to mess up this whole Jade and Naomi thing. They're going to mess up Jade and Bianca Belair, because the only thing after you have Jade go through them to do is have Jade wreck shop on everybody else. You're not going to give her a win streak. You're not going to give her the untouchable. So what are you going to do? Take 1 step forward, 3 steps back. 3 steps forward, 5 steps back. And it's going to be this cut and reverse thing until Jade decides to leave. And at that point, going back to AEW might not be an option.
AEW?
Huh?
Leave and go back to where? AAW? EAW?
Well, I mean, they have the TNA option, even though that's directly still linked with WWE. But I mean, it's I find that a lot of the black superstars do actually have a better footing in AEW than they do in WWE. The only thing WWE has over all of the other companies is they're worldwide. Like, they're in every home, whether you watch them or not. If somebody hates wrestling, they know what WWE is. Somebody hates wrestling, do they know what AEW is? Probably not. Do they know TNA? Probably not. Do they know MLW? Probably not. You know what I mean? Do they know GCW? Probably not. So all of these other names pale in comparison to being even the lowest at the bottom of the totem pole on WWE.
All I gotta say is, Jay, win it for us, Jay. That's all I got to say about that. You got any final words for us, bro? Any final, what I want to say, conclusions, contradictions?
Man, I just say this. I just need to see Jade Cargill, Rex Shop, and be in a position either at WrestleMania to take a belt or after WrestleMania to take a belt. Carmelo Hayes is going to regress. I would say within 3 months, he'll either be struggling to get into the mid card or he'll be sent back to NXT. And I think when it comes Cody, Roman, Rock, all these guys, WrestleMania is going to be very, very boring.
Even when Roman shows up?
Yep. Because what's he going to do? Think about it. Right now, he doesn't have a storyline. He did his storyline. He doesn't have a storyline right now. The only way he has a storyline is if Rock wins the title and he shows up and says, I want, let's do the thing that the cousins were supposed to do. And then CM Punk shows up and says, my favor. That's the only way you write Roman a story right now.
That's definitely a headbanger right there. And with that being said, I'll land my plane with this. Good luck, Jay. Cody, goodbye. Apparently, I was going to say this about Cody. Nobody likes Cody. Nobody likes Cody for the simple fact that he's only wrestled one match every other 3 months.
Yep,
and he has
that's that new
the title, but three or four times.
Yep.
Versus The Rock and everybody else has defended the title. Roman has defended the title more times than not, but he doesn't have to prove anything anymore. He doesn't have to prove anything, even though he's part-time. And as far as the women's division goes, the women's division needs to get a little stronger. Heel Skies is going. Congratulations. I think she's going to turn heel, in my opinion. Bianca Belair, she's not slick. Naomi needs to turn heel. Have that sweet chocolate tie, Lashley come to WWE and just go ahead and do what she got to do. Get the matches in, and that'll be that. That will be that.
No, that's facts.
That's facts. Hey, man. Thank you and Soapbox for stopping by and having this conversation with me. I like it. This is a blast, man.
Oh no, we gonna tap in. I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know there was some other brothers that was into the wrestling talk like I was. So
I quit. I quit years ago. Watching it because part of it didn't even make no sense. They signed. It didn't. It sealed their fate when they signed Sting.
Yeah.
Sting was in his 60s when he got signed, and when he got injured by Seth Rollins, I said enough is enough. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was supposed to be. I guess it was supposed to be him and Undertaker wrestling, and that would have been the match. Even
Yeah,
though
Undertaker.
Sting would have won, or Undertaker would have won, and Sting would have lost. That is one of the most would be the most memorable matches. One of the most memorable matches ever in WWE history. But Vince was like, "Nah."
Well, they brought it to Undertaker, and Undertaker said no because he said, quite frankly, him and Sting was just too old to put on a good match.
And he was right.
Yep.
He was right. Undertaker had gone through several injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Sting had the neck injury, had the back injury, had the leg injury at one point. So it was, and then of course they're in their 60s, and so what was I looking for? A Ric Flair and who's the dude with the barbed wire? I can't even think of his name right now.
Talking about
the guy with the barbed wire, he looked like he got a Jerry curl. I can't even think of his name.
You're not talking about Sandman, not Sandman.
Not Sandman, no.
Sabu?
Not Sabu. Even though I mean Sabu and RVD, that was a match to remember too. But no. I mean, either way, we don't want to see a snail in losing match. I mean, of course, he'll come by, point the belt his way, Undertaker with his eyes rolling back and forth, and coming in and they slap each other for a while, and then I don't know, they just get tired, and finally they said, "Fuck it, we're gonna do our finishers." And I tried to put the Scorpion death drop on you. You counteract that with a tombstone pile driver, and then boom, that's the end of it.
Yeah,
that would be a snail's match.
No, that's facts.
All right, man, Conrad. Thanks for coming over and chopping it with the brother. I'm looking forward to doing this again, especially in WrestleMania.
Facts.
Facts.
That is facts. All right, my brother.
All right, man. Take it easy. Thanks.
Peace and blessings to everybody.
Peace and blessings. Hey, man, this is one of the greatest talks I've ever had in my life. This is great. This is going back down memory lane, and I'm in my 40s. We usually have talks like this in our 20s and our teens. We remember where we used to get the candy bars. We used to get the ice cream bars. That's what it was. I got the Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man. Ooh yeah, the Macho Man bars and shit like that. It ain't the same what it used to be anymore. It is not the same what it used to be. And quite frankly, it'll never be the same again. You might as well put a rainbow on top of WWE and saying how soft we are. This is the soft era. But things will get a little bit, I hope WrestleMania will get interesting. I hope, for the sake of the fans that have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, which is sad in itself, and people should obviously get their money back. But I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, because Because truth be told, I want to see Jey Uso win. If he doesn't win, I don't think we'll be having this conversation again. But that's it for me. My name is We-On-Loc Nation. Thank you for having these talks with me. And this actually, I'm flabbergasted. I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. Let's have these talks again at WrestleMania. All right. Peace out, everyone.